And in business, South Africa, once regarded as a shining example of sound corporate governance and the finance industry, has been placed on the Finance Action Task Force grey list of countries with a history of money laundering. The term grey listing refers to the placement of South Africa on a list of nations by international financial institutions of those that are having difficulty controlling illegal financial flows. According to a 2009 evaluation, South Africa failed to adhere to all 11 of the FATF's effectiveness measures to prevent the funding of terrorism and money laundering. Now, joining me live to discuss the implication of this decision is Albert van Zyl, Manager Unit for Cooperation and Integrity Studies, Northwest University Business School. Thank you for your time, Albert.
Good morning. It's a great honor being with you.
All right, so let's get to it. South Africa's grey listing was mooted for some time. How could this have been avoided? And of course, why is this?
No, it's always a problem to look back and see what could have been done. The fact of the matter is South Africa is part of FATF, and we prescribe to the recommendations set by the Financial Action Task Force. A mutual evaluation report has been issued in October 2021, and South Africa had some months to make some corrections. We were found lacking in 67 aspects. Most of them have been corrected. We have done a lot of work to make changes to relevant legislation. That has been done, and we reported back to FATF, but still they found that we are lacking in 8 measures. Interestingly enough, very similar to the problems that Nigeria has. The problem is, if I can say, is it's not lying with the financial sector. We still do have a very good and stable financial sector. The issue is the problem with prosecutions. How do we get to the criminals and put them into jail?
All right. Now, still on this particular issue, since before the state capture report, we've known that there's so much problem in terms of the area of corruption in South Africa. Does this decision mean that corruption has been even deeper than initially suspected?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think what we see, remember in state capture, a number of governmental entities have been affected. They have been infiltrated by corrupt persons who only worked for their own interests. That hasn't stopped with the issuing of the report of the what we call the Zondo Commission. Some of those forces are still at play. The government has made some good moves to put new leadership in place, but there are still sectors that are not operating as it should be, specifically regarding the police and the prosecuting authority that needs attention.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask 2 questions rolled into one. The first being, what can be done right now to turn things around? And also, is the current administration doing enough practically to deal with this corruption situation?
Yeah, start with the last question. I do believe the government has made some high-level political commitments to rectify the problems. There is a sense between both the private sector and the public sector to collaborate to get us out of this situation. So in that regard, I believe there is a willingness to do it. We have the legal framework. The issue is, how do we implement it? And that is what needs to be tested. How do we ensure that the laws are applied and that we are again seen and then are able to demonstrate that we do act against those who misuse the country and its financial system for money laundering and other purposes like the financing of terrorism.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Albert.
Great pleasure. Thank you very much.